This is how to improve team performance with Johnnie, Lloyd and Associates. 10 principle-based tips that work. When we look at the opportunity to shift or grow our leadership, it is from several perspectives. The most productive leaders know the way, they go the way, and they show the way. One of the concepts of John Maxwell teaches in his book, Leadership, is about moving from a soloist to a conductor. This requires the people to actually shift and play in the lane that they were created, their unique lane that they were created to be in, and to play the instrument that they have practiced as a soloist. Now, the thing with moving from being a soloist to being a conductor as a leader is, as a soloist, I can play anything I want. I practice off to my side. When I practice, I go through different songs or whatever based on what I want to do to build my skill. When I become a conductor, it's actually about bringing the people together, about understanding their skill set, and making sure that all of us play together on one team toward one goal, toward one vision. And that is the wonderful thing that attracts people from the outside to what we're doing as a service provider or with our product. That's the beauty of it, as we play as a consolidated or a unified unit. And that's important when you look at building your team or building leaderships or increasing your productivity and profitability as a team. One of the things you look at is you look at results, we look at relationships, and we look at behaviors. We define winning in these terms: the behaviors that it takes to be a winner, the relationships, the connectivity that we need to have to expand and grow, and to also build our team to know who they are and the things about their life. And we build based on executable results, because results is the key to any great team. Now, from this perspective, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned is that when I look at leadership, especially as a servant leader, the best example that I can always go back to is Jesus, and how he handled and managed the principles and the disciples. The principles that he taught them were unquestionable, because he helped them be fruitful. He helped them and taught them to multiply. He taught them how to replenish, and he taught them how to dominate. When you look at domination, you should not be looking at how to dominate people, but how to dominate systems, how to take over in a specific area, how to be the top in a specific area. It is not about dominating people. So when I look at Jesus and how he worked with the disciples, I look at how when he came out of the water, even in this picture, it talks about the affirmation that was said by God the Father and how he said who Jesus was. So in our leadership journey, when we say a person is a leader, and everybody, in my opinion, is a leader, because the first person you need to lead is yourself. He affirmed who he was, and he walked out his assignment. Now, all the time, up until the time somebody officially puts you in a position of leadership, you should be leading in your space, in your lane already, because what you learn in the back shop, when you come to the forefront, is going to be beneficial. So then you celebrate successes and give people guidance for when they have shortcomings. And all of us have shortcomings. You invest in people that others have dismissed. There are sometimes people in, whether it be your church, whether it be your organization, that other people are saying there's no good thing that can be in them. You know, they're distracted, they have ADD, whatever. You can look at them and say, but what is their sweet spot? What is the thing that they can become successful in? What is the thing that they can be great at? And that is the key. He invested in those people. Now, this doesn't mean take all your energy and invest in those people and forget about the other people on the team. It means as you move forward, people that desire to go with the team, find out what they're best at and help them and make sure they get support in that area. He understood the rules and regulations, and my background is government, so I understand rules and especially regulations. However, he was very people-centric. He was centered on the people because people is our greatest asset. Then he released the responsibility, gave them an opportunity to be successful at smaller things and grew them up in their leadership position. He gave them boundaries that they can work in and gave them responsibility in there, but he also held them accountable. He instilled ownership of the process. When you instill ownership within the people that are working with you, within your leaders of the process, it doesn't mean that you agree with everything that they say. It doesn't mean that you implement everything that they say. However, you value their voice and you value how they think. So then he gave them a success plan. He had a success plan and it was already established, and it made it easier for them to fit into that plan. Now, he practiced servant leadership better than anyone I've ever heard of or anyone I know. He was laser focused on the vision, and he held his followers in high expectation. He expected better out of them. He expected greater out of them. So that's what we need to do when we're growing the team. As a leader, we need to have high expectations, and we need to help them with and let them know that they're going to be held accountable. That's not a negative thing. That should be a very positive thing. And then he built for the long term to carry out a global vision. And those are very important traits in any organization regardless. The next thing I'm actually going to provide is actually the top 10 tips to improve your team. These are based on not just how Jesus led, it's based on John Maxwell principles of leadership. It is also based on Napoleon Hill principles. And principles, as we start this, principles are like gravity. They work. It's not based on your belief system if they work. They just work. So use the principles to work and grow your team. Use the principles to engage in your own personal, professional, spiritual, and emotional success. So here's ways to improve team performance. 10 tips, and these are only the top 10. Of course, there's many others. However, these are the top 10 that I identified. So you have team building activities. This actually cultivates the team, allows them to know each other better, and not just the work maybe environment, but at lunch or other opportunities, so that they can build on their team connectivity. It may also mean that you bring facilitators in to do team building so that they will have fun as they build the team, that they'll understand how they're connected and give better insight, because this element is crucial. It's essential in building a productive and a profitable, happy team. So that's part of it, whether it be lunch, dinner, whatever. The second one is maximize productivity effortlessly. Now, when you look at productivity, as we all know, is a key to building a team. If you were looking at a football game and you look at even the Super Bowl, even everybody on the team, whether they ended up on the field, whether they hurt, everybody got a ring. So that's the productivity piece. Let everybody play their part, whether it be encourager, whether it be the water boy, whether it be throwing the ball, catching the ball, protecting the quarterback, whatever the situation is, show them how they can be productive in their space so that you can build on the entire team. And remember that this is where you provide great communication, you provide great direction, as in plays, and then you also provide amazing strategic focus. The other thing, as we lead further into communication, everybody communicates, everybody doesn't connect. Communication is not just talking, barking out orders. It is about dialogue. It is not about monologue. And it's about knowing your team so that you're able to motivate them and help them create better synergy so everybody can be more productive. Okay? So the next thing is pay them and or celebrate them. And the reason I say and or, in some nonprofits, you're not able to pay all your volunteers. However, you can celebrate them. You can celebrate them and let them know that they're unpaid staff, that they're unpaid, and we understand that, but they're taking their time and their energy and they're focusing on the vision. So always celebrate them. Grow and know your people. That goes back to the team building activities. That goes back to communication. That goes to celebrate them, grow them. Grow them. Give them opportunities for training. Give them opportunities to build a synergy and to grow them personally, professionally, spiritually, and emotionally. Give them an opportunity to grow. And then know who they are. Know what's going on in their life. Know them well enough that you know when they're having a off day, so the team will be able to gather around them and support them. Delegate, give guidance and support. Remember the thing about when you give them opportunities, you delegate and you hold them accountable. You delegate and you give them information. You let them know what they need to do, what you're expecting, what the end looks like, so that they can become successful, so they can have some wins. Now, this is the thing about the rubber band concept. This is another John Maxwell concept, but is one that I'm very familiar with. And what you do, if you would take a rubber band and you would stretch it between your two hands, and you would just separate your hands further and further apart, the rubber band starts getting tighter on your hands, but when you bring the rubber band back in, it's never the same. So that's the thing about the delegation. That's the thing about growing and knowing your people. You want to stretch them, not so that they break, but so that they will expand and grow, that they will be more self-aware, that they will understand that they can win at whatever level they're in the organization, and that they lead from that perspective, that they are valued. So then the mindset of transformation is actually about when you transform, and there's going to be another slide, when you transform, you go from where you are now to a greater, a better representation of who you are. It's in you. As a leader, is for us as leaders to help others identify greatness within. So that's part of the mindset transformation. And whatever, Napoleon Hill talks about it this way, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it has a capacity, it has a capability to achieve it. So that's what the mindset transformation is. It's not about what you can't do, it's what we can do. And it's related to your people, and it's related to your organization. Speak positively. Whatever you say with your mouth is connected to what you're thinking with your head. So speak affirmations, speak positive, have a positive mental attitude, and this is to provide stability and security. And you would say, how can I be secure in what I say? Well, it's about me speaking it in faith, because even when you speak a thing in faith, it looks like a lie when you say it. However, as you go through the process of obtaining it, faith without works, and you work toward that goal and you achieve it, every time you get smaller wins or big wins, you end up being more secure in what you're saying. So that's very important. And the last one I'll give is focus. My mantra for the organization that I am the CEO of is you're fire when you're focused. That doesn't mean that there's no distractions. That means that you keep the main thing the main thing. That doesn't mean that you let go of your family. That doesn't mean that everybody else becomes part of the things that you destroy on your way. That's not what that is. It just means that you know what you were created to do. You know that you need support to accomplish it. And so when you're focused, that element of transformation provides productivity, and it allows you to be more profitable. Profitability is not just about money. It's about your health. It's about lower levels of stress. It means all of those things. We can't be all things to all people. So that's why you have to hand things off. That's why you maximize your productivity by giving others some responsibility. That's what all that's connected to. Now, as we move forward, it's about, as an organization, it's about having a lot of pieces to the puzzle on the table, for an example. And all the pieces are there. They're gathered, but they're not assembled. As a leader, as a servant leader, it is important that we gather what we need. Even as a conductor, that we have all the instruments we need to play the vision out. However, we need to then assemble them so that the picture is clear, that all the pieces jointly connected in their spot to make the vision come to pass, to make your organization more profitable and productive, okay? And again, that is connected to our mindset, is connected to us being, as leaders, being a coach, building a mastermind team. And when I say mastermind, that's just not a group of people that come together as a team, because a team is different than a mastermind. A mastermind is a deeper dive in the connectivity. It's not just for us to accomplish one major goal. It's a larger vision connectivity. It's us being connected as at the mind, at what our belief systems are, our way ahead, our goals, our aspirations. Now, no matter who you are, and I love this slide, no matter who you are, and you've got dreams and visions, you've thought of these things, you may have a mastermind. However, you still got to go through the process. You have to go through a process where there may be friends that are talking against what you're saying. There may be relatives. There may be some past guilt. There is normally fear is present. Normally, it's just you have to step beyond that and go into your goals. Society is going to say some things. There's a pessimist. There's everybody out here, and each one of them are waiting to hit you as you come by. However, that's where the focus comes on. Stay focused. Things are going to happen. Life happens. Stay focused. No matter what happens, stay focused. Stay focused. It doesn't mean that you can't shift. It doesn't mean your timelines are always going to be met. However, remember where the finish line is. And part of that is to establish opportunities as you go through here, to build relationships and to transform. This is about transformation. Remember, the caterpillar is sitting here and saying, can you tell me if this job will have opportunities for personal development? Well, the leader has been transformed into a butterfly. Of course, it is. It's always going to be opportunities to develop and grow. However, as we walk through that, most people, most of us, let's talk about me, most of us, even me, when I walk through certain processes, I don't want to go through to be stretched. That's normal. But stretching will cause growth, and stretching causes transformation. And even in the process, the metamorphosis that happens as a butterfly, to get you to the butterfly state, to allow you to be different than the caterpillar, to cause you to go through the moth stages and all those different stages as a butterfly. One of the things I have to remind people is that there's some things that leaders go through that they have to break their own shell. They have to break out so that they can fly. They have to break out so that they can win and grow. We give them opportunities for success. However, they have to go through the process, and keep that in mind. And then guidelines and content requirements. Part of what we do when we look at any guidelines that we're providing, or we're providing people information to go to the next level, is that when you start a thing, you need to see yourself crossing the finish line. So start with the end in mind. Going back to sports, I used to be with my daughter, and she always did relays, and she was a track person. She ran track, and I was there. And one of the things when I look back at it was that the same place she started, the same space where everybody starts the race, crossing that line is also your finishing line. So when an organization, a person, a leader starts a thing, please help the people that are following us to know where we want them to end up. And if by chance things change, let them know through great communication. Don't feel like you've lost it, or communication is critical, because we don't want them treading water and take advantage of every stroke, every stride, every step we take. And that's why you always need to start with the end in mind. And that's a Covey concept as well. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is just gonna do a quick review, so you'll have a space for all the 10. So as a review, remember team building activities. Remember to maximize your productivity where that is effortless. And that doesn't mean that it's immediately effortless, that you take it to a space where it's part of your team's mantra. It's part of what they do. They maximize productivity. You want to communicate where you connect and you motivate. So that's not monologue, that's dialogue. Keep that in mind. Pay them and or celebrate them. And I'm going to also say and. The key here is if you're working with a group of people and you're paying them, do both. Pay them and celebrate them. And then, of course, if it's a volunteer, then you have unpaid staff, always celebrate them. And that's not waiting for an event to celebrate them. That is celebrate them and value them. So grow and know your people. It is critical. And it leads back to the connection part of communication. Delegate, give guidance and support. So don't be right there next to them, tell them every move, but check on them, hold them accountable, come back and check. And when you see them going in a direction that that's not what you intended, provide additional guidance so that they can have wins. Rubber band concept, remember in that concept, stretching, and you never go back to the same original place that you started before you were stretched. And then the mindset of transformation, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So think great things. for your organization, for your people, and for you personally. Speak. Remember, affirmations are critical. What you say in your life is what you're producing in your life. And then the positive mental attitude builds stability and security. And then focus. Focus. Identify what you want. Start with the end in mind. Remember that this is a transformational process and you're going toward productivity and profitability. Now, this is what I would like you to do. If you would please, any questions you have, points of clarity, additional insights you have, please put that in the comment block below. This is about engaging you to take it to the next level. And I thank you for reaching out for leadership development. Remember, I am a person that provides leadership development and wealth building. And if whether you having an event, a conference, or a retreat, please reach out and connect with us. It is our pleasure and an honor to serve you and to provide practical, applicable content. In addition to that, providing insight for opportunities to gain greater insight for your growth, for your well-being, and to take you to the next level. And when I say take you, that is not carry you, that is walking side by side to partner with you. So stay connected. Ensure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, connect with us at all these other platforms, and reach out to us so that we know that if there's anything that we can support or help you with, if there's something that's on your heart or you're having issues with, that's what we're here for, to make sure that we provide additional support to you. These are 3 of the books that I am an international best-selling author, and these are 3 of the books that you can get as you grow to your next level. It is imperative that you feed yourself, because what you feed is what grows. So again, thank you, and don't forget to make your comments below. Have an awesome day and grow to the next level.